Welcome to another episode of Discussions by Domain. I am your host, Anthony DeGraw, and today we have the pleasure of welcoming Wayne Staub, who is the Chief Business Relations Officer at the New Jersey Business and Industry Association, as I call NJBIA. Welcome, Wayne.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So today, Wayne and I caught up about, I want to say early February, March at Mercer County Community College on the whole apprentice IT program that we're launching and the work that NJBIA is doing with the community colleges as well, and what that looks like for businesses going forward, and is there a way to model it. And we had a really good conversation about the value that NJBIA is bringing to businesses of all size, and I wanted to bring Wayne in here to specifically talk about that, because I think there's a lot of events and stuff that we go to, but there's a lot of things that these guys are doing in the background that not every business understands, and you can raise your hand and reach out to them and understand what they can provide to your business in something that you may be confused about that's going on in this world. And there's nobody better than this guy right here, Wayne. So we're gonna jump right into it, Wayne.
All right.
I mean, the topic of the conversation is, what is NJBIA doing? And there's a lot of changes going on. Let's just start at the top. You know, what are some of the new programs that you guys have going on, and how does that affect the businesses out there?
Sure. So I appreciate the opportunity to be here. We are the largest, the most influential statewide business association in the country. We've been doing it for over 100 years. We try to support small businesses in the back office areas that they may not have access to, including HR services, health benefits, payroll services, credit card shipping, all to help reduce doing the cost of business in New Jersey. But what we were built on and what we continue to be a leader in is the advocacy space and trying to be the voice for businesses in New Jersey. There's a lot of issues that are coming at us fast and furiously that impact business every day. And our government affairs team, which has been around again for over 100 years, is advocating every day with your legislators so that they understand the impacts of a $15 an hour minimum wage and how it impacts businesses at every different level, particularly small businesses. The expansion of the paid time off, that impacted a lot of our members. And what we try to do is help keep them compliant as well. So when these rules do change, they can call us and say, hey, am I compliant? This is what I have. And we're able to help keep them compliant and navigate them through some of the changing laws and regulations. And we also try to keep them informed ahead of time to prepare them for what can happen. And also we do try to rally them to let their legislators know before any action is taken so that they have a voice before anything happens.
Yeah, no, that's great stuff. And on a very quick note, it just happened serendipitously outside this room when we were talking to Domain's controller, Rob Bufano, about just some of the quick value that he gets from you guys every single day, which is in the basic newsletter that you guys send out weekly. And he, just from a top of mind thing, said, you know what, every time I get that, I make sure I go through it and read all the different legislative things that you guys have going on to make sure that I'm at least aware of that. Okay. So what other things do you hear from your members about values that they're getting from this?
So that's great to hear, and our marketing team's going to be thrilled when I go back to tell them that it's going to. And that is the intention of it. Is it goes out once a day, 4 p.m. to be there in your inbox so that you can stay up to date. One of the big things that's happening now and where we're getting a lot of attention is the cannabis industry.
Yeah, talk to us about that. We're sitting right next to one of the dispensaries right now.
Right. And the medical dispensaries, they're legitimate businesses that employ hundreds of people, have 401ks, offer tuition reimbursement, and they serve a valuable purpose. You may or may not know, the legalization of it has now been pushed off. The plan is for it to be for a vote in 2020 on the ballot and let the citizens decide, but they are significantly expanding the medical side of it with new dispensaries, growers, all kinds of activities related to it. NJBIA's position is we just want our employers to be able to provide a safe and drug-free workplace. And that is legislation that our language that our team has hammered in, and it is in all of the legislation. And those are some of the things that we do behind the scenes that people may not know of. We make sure that when there is bad policy, we try to limit it and make it available in planning stages. The $15 an hour minimum wage is a good example too. We were opposed, and we still are opposed to that, because we think you should lift people's skills, not artificially inflate wages, because that resets wages for everybody else who does have some certification and some training. But originally it was supposed to be a clean $15 an hour minimum wage would have been here July 1st of this year, if not for NJBIA and the advocacy we did behind it. So it's still coming, but it's going to be phased in over 5 years. There's some exemptions, and we're still working behind the scenes to get some new policy to fix some of the bad policy that could give some tax credits for youth employment, because we feel that's a big concern for a lot of our members.
Yeah, and I know you guys have been big advocates of what we've been doing here at Domain on the Apprentice IT, and how do we model that for other organizations, other businesses, and partnerships. Can you talk a little bit on the workforce development work you guys are doing?
Absolutely. So not everyone needs to go to college. There are a lot of opportunities out there. We do research that shows there's some middle skill jobs right now in New Jersey that are unfilled that provide a great living, but they do require some sort of training, some sort of certification. And a lot of the training facilities, even I think of the labor unions and electricians and plumbers, even when they're in apprenticeship programs now, they're coming out of those apprenticeship programs with 2-year degrees and then the ability to go on to 4-year degrees. So we really need to look at how we, as a state, promote education and workforce development. Affordability is a big piece of it. You know, there are a lot of people who are coming out of college with hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt and not having a job to go into. We love the IT apprentice programs, and we've been advocating for that for years. We've helped fund it through grants with the Department of Labor for years and years. We have manufacturers who tell us, if you know how to weld, write down on a piece of paper what you want to make, and they'll pay you, because that workforce is aging out, and there's not a pipeline of people underneath. Yeah. So, like Domain, we encourage our businesses to work with your local community colleges and technical schools to develop a partnership and a pipeline to help the business, but also to help the student walk into a real-time job as soon as they complete that training.
Yeah, I love everything you're doing there. I also love the thought processes of apprentice programs in the non-traditional apprentice areas of work, right? Like IT, like digital marketing and production, everything. Like, this podcast wouldn't exist if it wasn't for that program and the people that are sitting behind that camera over there. So that's great stuff. They're getting knowledge, they're getting paid, everybody's getting certifications. It's a great way. Talk us through the changes now culturally in employees and employee benefits.
Yeah, so this is a topic. It happens in a lot of different businesses. Multi-generational workforce, and the way that you address and the values and what's important to one level of workforce may not be the same as the younger level of employee. So trying to develop programs and services that meet those needs while still addressing the needs of the traditional worker. So there's a lot of talk about developing programs to eliminate student debt, as an example, for an employee coming in, as opposed to making them go right into a 401k program. Let's get rid of the debt first and then, start there. A lot of telecommute work now, and how do you manage that workforce? So that's another one of the resources that NJBIA provides. Seminars, webinars, information on how do you manage, remote employees? How do you manage conflict between multi-generational employees? Your handbook. We do a seminar every year, and businesses walk out with an employee handbook. That is so important these days, again, with a lot of the laws and rules that are changing, which require a lot more reporting, which puts another burden on the small business. So these are all things that we try to address and try to make sure our members are prepared when these changes happen.
Yeah, and so all of these things, I mean, we just got 3 or 4 items right there that you as an organization can reach out to NJBIA and the team there, actually get value from and implement today in your business, right? So what is, Wayne, what is the best way for people to get in touch with you guys and join up?
Well, you can certainly go on our website. That's certainly the easiest, which is www.njbia.org. All the information is there. You can reach out to me specifically at 609-858-9477. But I would suggest the website. That really gives a breakdown of everything. And we didn't even, touch on everything that we do. We another thing that a lot of businesses tell us, especially smaller ones, is exposure. They want to have exposure. So we have a daily e-blast where we're always highlighting our members, and there's opportunities for advertising, web banners, different packages. It's all about relationship building and really understanding what that business needs and wants. We have a member marketplace for members to find each other, and we're developing a members buyer's guide, which is going to give exposure to 25,000 people through our daily e-blast. So we're always looking for ways to provide that opportunity, whether it's a table at one of our events. We have an award-winning magazine, which you're aware of, and we're always looking for content for our members to, small business solutions, smart business ventures, ways that we could help highlight them and get their name out there. Constantly working on that.
And I'm gonna, full disclosure, I'm an NJBIA member, and so is Domain, and we participate on at the board level as well as in technology committees and different things. But I would voice to you all that to get involved, right? As you just mentioned, we're always looking for content. We're always putting on events. We need people to come speak about what they know. There's a ton of individuals out there that have a really good expertise that other NJBIA members would be interested in hearing about. And I think it's a great platform for you to get your name out there, your brand out there, your business out there, and take advantage of being a member of NJBIA.
I always say, it's great to have a membership, but if you don't do anything with it, it's like having that gym membership. I got it on my key ring, but if I don't go in, it doesn't do anything. Yeah. We have policy committees in every area: taxation and economic development, workforce development, technology, healthcare. Our members can participate on these committees and have a voice at what's happening at the state level. We're very big on our women's leadership initiative. Our president and CEO is the first woman leader of our 100-plus year organization, and we've been building in that area to help elevate women to the C-suite. And it's been growing. We have a big event coming up in September. It'll be our 5th event under Micheles Advice, and we're really excited about it. We have a member community where our members talk amongst themselves for best practices. I'm having this problem. What can I do? So we do a lot to try to get members to talk to each other and work with each other as well.
That's great. Yes, you start the conversation. You're the conversation starter.
Exactly.
All right, let's switch it up real quick and let's get to know Wayne a little bit more on the personal level and who he is as an individual. Go back to your younger self, younger days. What advice would you give that individual?
I would say take advantage of every opportunity that's presented to you. Sometimes, you may look at something, I don't know, I got something else, might not be the right thing for me. And then come to find out it really was a great opportunity. Put yourself out there. Don't be scared. It took me a while to understand that, but people really respond to genuine. And if you're genuine and you put yourself out there, I think the rewards coming back are better. I wish I would have learned that at an earlier age.
Love it. That's awesome. What book or books has influenced you the most, or you've gifted the most to other individuals?
So actually, one of my colleagues gifted it to me first, and I may be getting the title wrong, and I'm sorry if I do, but it's Move the Cheese. And basically, it's talking about change and how you deal with change. Change is inevitable, and there are people who resist change. And this whole book talks about how the outcome. If you move the cheese and you keep going back and keep looking for the same spot for that cheese, you're never going to find it.
Okay.
You have to figure it out and start looking different ways and going different routes to find where that cheese is. And today, more than ever, things change so fast, especially at the technology level, as you know.
Every day.
So, you know, really being adaptable and being willing to pivot and change, I think is key.
Okay, very good stuff. Let's go to, I'm deciding between two right now. Let's go to thought leader first. Who is a thought leader in the Northeast here that the audience should know about and potentially look into at a deeper level to understand what they're doing?
So I know this may seem like a shameless plug, but I am going to say our president and CEO, Micheles Advice. She is definitely a thought leader in the state and in the region. She's an attorney. She's a former commissioner at DEP. Her ability to adapt and learn. She was the president of a regional chamber. She's been on an elected position in school board. Is a mother of two kids. She has really been able to understand how the world works and how to interact with people at every single level. She's the CEO, but every one of our staff can walk into our office, and it's, you know, a lot of people say, hey, I have an open door policy and you could come in, but it literally is, and she makes an effort to go around and talk to staff and congratulate them on certain things, and she pays attention to her staff. At the level we're at now with politics, there's some tough stances she has to make, and she's not scared to make them because she backs them up with research. And, you know, it's hard to fight research and data, and that's what she does, and she articulates it in a way, you know, to make it understandable no matter what audience she's talking to. Yeah. So I really think she is somebody that if you haven't paid attention to, you really need to.
Definitely not a shameless plug. Well deserved. She's doing great stuff, and we're looking forward to what's next with her. And then the final thing, what's a nonprofit or charity that you want to give some recognition to?
I do appreciate. So I do do a lot of different nonprofits, but my favorite and the one I've been with the longest is my local education foundation, the Ewing Public Education Foundation. I was president for 10 years. I'm now the treasurer. I've been on the board for probably close to 20 years now. And I have to say I'm honored. We never gave scholarships for years. And like other leaders, I said, well, why don't we give a scholarship? It's in our bylaws. And they're like, no, nothing's in our bylaws. So we started a few years ago with one scholarship for $500. Okay. And now we're up to 9 scholarships at $9,500.
Amazing.
So
That's
we've grown
awesome.
it. And again, I am very proud. They did, our board did honor me about 5 years ago and named a scholarship after me. So tonight, a Ewing senior will be getting the 5th annual Wayne Staub Presidential Ewing Public Education Foundation grant. So
that's amazing. I don't think there's a better spot to end than right there. Wayne, thank you so much for coming on today. And for the audience, we'll link to everything that Wayne discussed here, thought leaders, charities, books, and NJBIA specifically, and how you can get involved with that organization. It's helped Domain tremendously. I would encourage you guys to reach out. Thanks again.
Thank you.